Alright guys, today I've got my Moto G here, and I'm going to show you guys how to install the Google, it's a Google based ROM, I should say Google Experience based ROM or Google Edition based ROM. It's called Infusion, and I'm going to show you how to install that on your GSM US version of the Moto G. So right now this is actually CyanogenMod mod. If this looks pretty cool to you and you want to get something like this on there, I have a video on it, so definitely go check that out. It is pretty sweet ROM as it is. So prerequisites are going to be for this, obviously you're going to have an unlocked bootloader. You're going to have custom recovery installed. I would say probably you want to install Clockwork Mod Recovery. That is for the 4.4 bootloader. I have videos on all that stuff, so definitely check out my playlist on this device if you want to see it. My channel, RootJunkie.com, all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this. First thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and download the files to your device. So mine should be in downloads, and right here you can see I have the ROM Infusion, and this is beta 3, and then I also have add Infusion Settings zip right there, and then lastly I do have SuperSU in case we don't have root access. I've heard people say sometimes flashing it doesn't give you root for some reason. We'll probably just flash that also. So that's what you're going to want to have. And you can boot into recovery the old-fashioned way by powering off, holding your volume up and down in power, and then selecting recovery from your boot menu, which is fine. I'm just going to do it the easy way since we have CyanogenMod on here. I'm going to say reboot to recovery. And this is just an easy, simple way because instead of hitting all the buttons and the commands, this is obviously you're going to have this if you're going to do this because you have to have an unlocked bootloader, so you're going to have this warning screen on your device. But we'll see that here in just a second. Here we go, Clockwork Mod Recovery, pretty basic, pretty simple. So first thing we're going to do is scroll down, and you're probably going to want to go to Backup and Restore, and you're probably going to hit this and make a backup. I've already got a backup on there, I'm not really too worried about it, so we're going to go back. Once you have a backup, go ahead and go to Wipe Data Factory Reset. Say yes to all. And there you go, it's done. Then we're going to go to Install Zip. Click that one, choose Zip from SD, 0 folder, and Downloads is where I've got my files. And then pick the ROM, so which is beta 3. Then yes, install. And it's a pretty quick file to install. It shouldn't take too long because it's not a really big file. The ROMs for this phone are just not huge. So, but this will be installing Infusion. So this should be pretty cool, and we're going to flash the add-ons. And we'll reboot and see if we have root access. I'm not sure if we do. If we don't, we'll have to boot back into recovery and flash SuperSU zip, which like I showed you, I had that in my folder if I needed it. Okay, there we go. So choose zip from SD card again, power, 0 folder, downloads, and then the add-ons, which is actually the top one. So add-ons, and then yes to install. Installing add-ons, good. And then go back and reboot system now. And it says something about, it says disable recovery flash. Yeah, so you don't want it to restore a different recovery, so say yes, and it's going to reboot. Otherwise what can happen is it can install the old stock recovery, and you don't want to have that. You obviously want to have Clockwork Mod Recovery on there. So, and you probably already did that if you actually installed this. I actually had to just reflash it. Okay, so there you go. There's the Infusion boot animation. Definitely something different for me. Haven't seen that one yet, so pretty sweet. We're going to let this thing boot up. First boot up, shouldn't take too long, but it could take up to 10 minutes technically is what I always say. But on these new devices now, it really only takes up to 5. After 5 minutes, pretty much if you're not booting, you got some issue. You probably need to get into recovery and restore your Android backup you made. So let's let this thing boot up, and I'm going to go through some settings and we'll show you this ROM. Here we go. So we've got to our settings. Let's go ahead and set these up. Let's get my SIM because I don't have one in here. Go into my Wi-Fi, finish up the setup, and shabam! There we go. That is going to be the opening screen of the ROM. Obviously, you guys can see that it does have a Nova launcher set up right now as the main launcher for the device, which is pretty slick. If I can get this little dumb notification thing off here. Yeah, screw it. We'll leave it on there. So there you go. You can see just standard launcher on it. We'll pull down our notification, and you can see your settings up here: airplane mode, Bluetooth, location, battery, settings, all that kind of goodies. Let's go ahead and check out our app drawer and look at what we have in here. So very minimal in the app drawer. Basically Play Store. I mean, that's all it is for Google applications. Search, I guess, Google Settings, Hangouts, a couple things, but you know, no Gmail even in there, no Chrome. I mean, this is really stripped down. Obviously, you can install all of them from the Google Store once you sign in. Google Play, Play Store, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and check to see if SuperSue is functioning correctly. Yeah, it isn't, so that's why you're going to need to have that SuperSue application and go ahead and flash it. Maybe on the next beta release you'll have it working, but on beta 3 it is not, so go ahead and do that. You do have this file manager, which is the MIUI file manager, which is cool. It's got some nice looks to it and features on it. So if you like using a file manager, that's kind of nice that he put that in there. You can see all of your widgets. FTP server, that's interesting, toggle there, and so on. And then let's go ahead and shoot into settings and see what we got. So here's Infusion right there. There's something we're going to look at. Other than that, I mean, we're just going to look into it. You see 4.4.2, KitKat, obviously, Google Play Edition, ROM. So let's go ahead and check out these Infusion settings. This is probably where all the fun's going to happen on this ROM, is all the cool stuff you can do in here. So we're going to go into system tweaks first. Proceed with caution. Talks about this. See what we got here. Build prop stuff you can edit. A whole bunch of keys. Disable boot animations. Just a whole bunch of stuff you can mess with here. Let's see what else we got here. So guys, to wrap this up, I guess, let's go into settings. I'm just going to show you this. Is pretty nice. This does work with the new virtual system, I guess you could say. I can't even say how you say this, but runtime. There it is. That's what I'm trying to say. If you go into developer options, which actually you have to turn on by going to about phone and going to build number and tapping on it 10 times, it will turn on developer options. And in developer options, you guys can actually go to select your runtime environment, and you can select it as Art. See, I see it says use Art. Normally you use Delvic, but Art is a new runtime environment that Google has put into KitKat, and it does function with this ROM. So that's very cool. It does sacrifice some of the tweaks of this Infusion stuff right here, but they're alright. But you can put in your own stuff if you want. It's not too hard. Find some apps that do that for you, like System Tuner and things like that. So I'm not too worried about it. You can install Expose Framework or something like that if you want to, whatever. But this does have Art functionality, so that is pretty slick. It should make this device run quite a bit faster. So there you go. That's pretty much it. That's going to be my review on Infusion Rom on the Moto G, how to install it, get it running. So hope you guys like this. Stay tuned for more coverage on the Moto G, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Root Junkie out.